Today, I want to talk about the advantage of renting and the benefit of buying. The advantage of renting and the benefit of buying. So many times people will ask me, should I rent now or buy? Should I rent or buy? So I used to tell people that that should not be an argument because renting or buying depend on individual financial capacity and goals. Whether you will rent now or you will buy now depend on your financial capacity and your personal goals. So why do I say that? I know that buying a house is one of the major investment decisions that you can ever make in your life. So buying a house is one of the major investment decision that anyone can ever make. So it's very important that we also know that. So today I want to share with you the principles that will help you make this decision wisely and intelligently. Firstly, I will advise that before you decide whether you will rent or you will buy, you have to think about whether you can afford it. So we are talking about affordability here. We are talking about affordability. So real estate is very expensive to acquire. We all know that real estate is very, very expensive to acquire. Whether you want to acquire a landed property, whether you want to buy a building, whether you want to buy an apartment, it's very expensive. Buying real estate is not cheap anywhere in the world. So you have to first of all look at whether you can afford to buy or you can afford it. So you have to consider your financial capacity before you start thinking of diving into buying a house, a building, or apartment, or a landed property. Yeah, we know that it can even take some people, it can take them years to gather even a down payment. It can take them uh, their whole fortune to gather even a down payment. And we also know that even making monthly installment payment is not also easy, as a realtor we always say or preach about it. Down payment can cost some people their fortunes, and monthly installment payment is not that easy as you may also think. So you have to consider your financial capacity before you can know what to do between whether you are to rent or you are to buy. If you cannot afford to buy property in the city, but you can afford to buy properties in places that share boundaries with city centers, you can also do well to acquire property in those places if that is the place that your money can afford for now. For some of you, you can afford to buy apartments for now, but you can't afford to buy a house. For some can afford to buy a landed property, but you can't afford to buy apartment. I will also advise you can also do that. Buy property based on what you can afford for now. So if you cannot buy what you want, I will advise you, I beg, buy what your money can afford. Because real estate investment is about affordability. Investing in real estate is about what you can afford. It's not about what you want. I've seen many people who wants to buy property in the city, but their money cannot afford to buy the city. But when you suggest city centers to them, they will say, no, I don't want to go that far. I don't want to buy that place. But your money cannot really afford what you want. So if your money cannot afford to buy the city, I will advise you buy places that your money can afford, because time is the king in real estate. Time is the head in real estate. Because when you buy now, you have advantage over people that are yet to buy. So use time to buy real estate. This is the advice I used to give to young people that are aspiring to invest into real estate. Don't wait to buy. Buy and wait. Don't wait for development. Buy and develop the property that you buy, or you buy property that they are developing. So that is the way to go about it. Affordability is the key when buying real estate. People will always ask me, and or my friends, my clients, some of them do also always ask me, is it cheaper to rent than to buy? Or is it better to rent than to buy? So yes, we all know that it's cheaper to rent than to buy. Why? Because the cost of building a house, the cost of buying a house, the cost of buying a landed property is always on the high side. Even if you want to build a house, you first of all buy your land. You buy the land. After buying the land, you have to perfect your documents. After perfecting your documents, then you start setting your bricks. Then you start building, and that takes a whole lot of time. It takes a whole lot of money. So it's not easy building or buying a house. So I will advise you, if you don't have enough money to build or to buy, I will advise you that you rent. It is better you rent. You can rent now, and that will give you an opportunity to save enough money. By the time you were able to save enough money, you can now start thinking of diving into investing into real estate. So I will advise my friends, I will advise you, my investors, that rent if you don't have enough capital to start building or buying real estate. So it is better for you, it is cheaper for you to rent. And for you as a landlord, if the cash that is coming in, if the rental income that is coming in is not enough to foot your monthly mortgage payment, that is what we call negative cash flow in real estate. Negative cash flow in real estate. If the money that you are getting from your renters, the rental income that you are getting from the building that you purchase, and that rent is not enough to foot your monthly mortgage payment, that is a bad real estate investment. So what I mean is that, for example, if your monthly mortgage payment is higher than what your tenants are paying you, that means you are losing money for the tenant to live in that house, or that apartment. You are really losing money for that tenant to stay there. But if you are renting, you can save money to develop a business that will grow and build or buy you a house in the future. So for example, if your monthly mortgage payment is higher than what your tenants are paying you, that means you are losing a whole lot of money for those tenants to stay in that apartment or that building. But the advantage that you have as someone who is renting is that you can rent now, then you can save enough money, you can have time to save enough money, or you can have time to build a business that will end up buying you or building you a house in the nearest future. Rent if you are still earning and learning. Rent if you are still learning and earning. So as a new graduate that is just coming up, someone who is just new in the business world, I will advise you to rent if you are still learning and earning, or if you are still earning and learning, because you are still trying to figure out how things will work. You are not sure or whether you are going to remain. You don't know your stand. You don't know where you are going to stay, because there can be an opportunity for you in another state. So you don't know. As at that time, you cannot determine the next move, because you are not yet balanced. So you may not know if there will be other opportunities for you in other city that can cause you to change location. So, and as at that time you are still figuring out how things will work, you are not sure of you are not stable financially, and you are still building yourself. So as at that time, what I will advise you to do is that whatever money that comes into your hand, develop your skill, develop the business. If you develop your skill, develop your business, develop your talent, invest in yourself personally, educate yourself, try to expand your knowledge, learn how to make money, build a business. If you can build yourself a business, then the business will build you a house or buy you apartment or buy you a house, even a landed property in the nearest future. So that's what I will advise you to do as a young graduate. As a young person, if you are still earning and learning, I will advise you rent, don't buy. Another point is that you have to buy if you are financially stable and established. Buy if you are financially stable and established. If you are between 30 and above and you are financially stable, you have good income, you have good business. Maybe you are a couple and both of you are doing well in business. I will advise you to buy if you are financially stable. See, I used to advise people that have money, look at buying into real estate as a saving plan. Instead of saving your money in the bank, instead of saving your money in places that may not really yield profit, why can't you save your money into land? Do land banking. Look land as if it's a banking option. Bank your money into land. Okay, so buy if you are financially stable and established. What are you waiting for? If you can afford to buy good location and still have left over, what are you waiting for? Buy if you are financially established. Buy if you are financially stable. Buy if you have financial freedom, if you are financially free, if you have financial confidence, if you can hit your chest that if I buy, I still have enough money to maintain with, I still have enough money to use with my family, then buy if you are financially stable. If your business is running, if it's running, your cash, there's a cash flow business that you are doing and you are sure of monthly income, you are sure of daily income, you can go ahead and make the down payment for a house. You can go ahead, make a down payment for a landed property, make a down payment for apartment. So there's nothing stopping you to buy property. There's nothing stopping you to invest into real estate if you are financially stable and established. Lastly, if you must invest in real estate, you must know how to negotiate. You must learn how the game work. You must learn the rudiments of the business. You must know how to negotiate. You must know how to approach the bank for loans. You must know how to sell your product. If you don't know any of these things, don't be an investor. I will advise you, don't be an investor. If you must invest in real estate, you must know how the game work. You must learn the rudiments of the game. You must know how the business is working. You must learn how to negotiate. You must learn how to take loan from the bank to buy real estate. You must know how to do all the above. If you don't know how to negotiate with banks, if you don't know how the business is working, if you don't know most especially if you don't know even how to sell the product, I will advise you, don't invest into real estate, because you must know how to sell the product. You must know how to approach the bank for loans. You must know how to negotiate with the landowners. You must know how to play around them, because sometimes landowners, the homeowners, they are very difficult set of people to deal with. Sometimes you can lose a huge amount of money while trying to dive into something that is lucrative as real estate. So always seek the advice of professional that can guide you on how to go about it. Don't just see a real estate business as something that anybody can do. It's not what anybody can do. We've seen a whole lot of people who dive into real estate arrogantly. They dive into real estate thinking real estate is something that anybody can just dive into, and at the end of the day, they got their fingers burnt. So I don't want you to fall into that same trap. That's why I'm telling you to consult someone that is established, consult someone that has gone through the game, someone that knows about the game. You can also attend real estate classes just for you to have the experience of how the business do work.